I got my first question when the talk was announced. It wasn't bait, there was like a misunderstanding. Like Danny Trejo was announced to host the talk. Was anybody expecting to see Danny Trejo? Okay, Shane was, and Sebas too. Okay, if you don't know him, Danny Trejo is a Mexican actor. He was part of a lot of Hollywood movies, but instead you will be having me here. But I have something for you, especially for Shane and Sebas that were expecting him. Let's see if he's around here and if it works. Hey Danny, what's up?
Not much, homie. Just living life and loving every minute of it. Been acting in some cool projects, and my restaurants are keeping me busy. You know, just trying to spread some joy and make a difference, one taco at a time. What about you? What's new with you?
Well, actually, I'm glad that you have a lot of projects, but we were expecting you here in Argentina. You had scheduled a talk here at Aleph Popup City in the Web3 and AI Summit. Why didn't you come over?
Oh man, I'm so sorry to miss that, hermano. I had a scheduling conflict with a film shoot and couldn't make it to Argentina. I was really looking forward to talking about my experiences and share my thoughts on Web3 and AI. Maybe next time I'll make it happen and we can catch up in person. Hasta luego.
Okay. We'll catch up later. See you, Danny. Well, we'll leave it here.
Haha, no way, hermano.
Bueno, we'll see him later. Well, my name is Nico. I'm lead on-chain engineer at Orbofi. We're not already live in mainnet. We are creating a Launchpad and an NCK and some interesting stuff that I will tell you later. But first of all, I wanted to talk about how we are getting here. I see that a lot of interesting things have been during the day. And we have come to an idea about getting together Asians on-chain and a lot of things. And I thought that it would be interesting like to go back a little and see how all these things started or they started getting popular. So I think that we can talk about four main elements, like tokens in general, from the ICOs in 2017 to Doge, maybe the first big meme coin, and all the trending stuff that has been happening over the last years. AI agents, that we are all here. Developer experience, we have been talking about different frameworks and tools, and also UX. Like, it doesn't make sense to have good tooling and good crazy techie stuff if we don't get to retail and to people using it. So, talking about tokens and meme coins, we all know about PumpFun, like a huge meme coin launcher that works on Solana, really popular, and it got maybe meme coins to mainstream or to a lot of people knowing about them. From a tech perspective, it was just like a bonding curve on Solana, and then migrating liquidity to Radium. Radium is kind of a Uniswap, a DEX on Solana. Then, if we go to EVM, we know about virtuals. They started talking about AI agents, maybe not really integrated into their system. They have like on-chain launchpads on their way, and like AI tools on like separately. They introduced a native token called Virtual. They did have an issue with this because if all the tokens you launch are paired with your own token, you collect fees in Virtual and you end up with $20 million in fees that if you want to liquidate, you have to dump your own token. So that was like a bonding curve and UniV2. We do know about Flange. It got like really popular in January. They launched the same day as Uni before, and it's a really interesting implementation of Uniswap before hooks. Getting the idea of creators not getting revenue from ragging instead of incentivizing trading and getting most of the revenue from fees. We can also talk about Clunker, integrating AI agents and coins generations directly from Farcaster. Getting these, at the beginning I talked about UX, not only as a single UI or a front end, but different interfaces. And getting social interfaces like Farcaster or Twitter is also a great idea. And also you have like a lot of community to work on top of. Introducing also on-chain functionality. These agents could hold tokens and do a lot of interesting stuff. Then moving a little away from specifically crypto, a huge thing was ELISA OS a couple of months ago, introducing like a really good framework to build on top of, where you could like define directly a character personality and get them interacting on Twitter, Discord, a lot of platforms. Also kind of a plugin or modular approach where you could add things on top of it. What else? Agent Kit, this thing Coinbase built, also with this approach of building on top of, not just a single product, but developers taking all this functionality, making it their own and building crazy stuff. By the way, you can now work together with Agent Kit and ELISA OS, thanks to Sweetman, that contributed a huge plugin. And well, they just to mention a few things, it's wallet agnostic. You can use any wallet that you want. And there's like kind of different modes that you can use that lets you customize your experience at what you are building. So we were talking about tokens, agents, developer experience, UX. So if you talk directly about ELISA OS and Agent Kit, you may have like crazy developer experience, but not really something that users can use directly. You need these developers to get to a really good experience. Not talking about tokens. They are frameworks just for doing on-chain activity and off-chain activity, but not launching tokens directly. There are good launchpads. I really like Launch and their incentives and what they have been building, but they lack of the other things. So it's kind of you have to choose from one way or the other, or if you want to build something good, you have to be a developer or work with something that has like deep understanding, because otherwise you won't have the interfaces or the correct tools from a user perspective to get to something interesting. So that's when this narrative came about sentient coins. It's a really interesting idea of, I mean, we have been trading stuff for more than 100 years, like stocks. We had crypto. With crypto, we have the ability to launch a coin in 1 second. More even now that we have a lot of launchpads and things that directly the user can set some parameters and launch a coin. But there are not that many places where you can launch a coin and really get that concept, that meme, or that thing interacting outside. So in that diagram of having like different stuff, you had to choose from one of them or see how to integrate them into different things outside different systems. So when we're talking about these sentient coins, we talk about personified, multimodal, and tradable agents, like getting all the trading and the interesting and exciting idea that meme coins may bring to some of us, and at the same time getting a lot of utility and functionality, interacting with a lot of things. It could be like on-chain stuff, social media, managing treasuries, getting a really good chatbot to chat with. So that's what we have been building for a while. This is kind of the front end that we have been building. So we have like two parts, some general agents that are generated not directly to a coin. And then the other ones that users create and they can tokenize and launch a coin. All of them have like a really nice chatbot where you have a lot of utility from the typical chatbot, website generation, images, based on the personality of that character. One thing that I will come up in a minute, we took all the data from Wikipedia, and every person that has a Wikipedia article has its own character already on the page. So if you take, hey, give me an image of a city, if you ask Trump or somebody, I don't know, in Brazil or in any other place, based on its personality and all the data that it collects, it will get like different images and different outcomes. So it's really interesting. So yeah, these more than already 3 million agents are based mostly on Wikipedia and other sources of information. And creating them is really easy. It's like defining a personality, adding data, choosing an image, some tokenization parameters. It's already on chain, and people can interact with it. So it's like kind of different, like just as, hey, I created this meme coin that is related to an agent. You can create the meme coin, and it's really integrated into any kind of system. We partnered with Danny Trejo, this actor that we have talked with him a couple of minutes ago. It's the first agent that is officially licensed, and we can create a lot of interesting stuff with this. There are a couple more to come over the next months. And besides Orbofi, I do think that is something that we will be seeing more, like important personalities or people getting their own products on chain, like this thing that maybe we'll be seeing later about actors or different resources being used, or influencers or whatever. Is also a good way to monetize. Maybe not only with the meme coin, but maybe getting some subscription, kind of a token-gated thing. There are like a lot of things to explore to see how these kind of people can get the most out of the tools that we already have. So it's really fun to have Danny on board on the project. A couple of details. It's built on Uniswap before. So we have like this new thing where hooks lets us customize a lot of things. In the previous version, we were coding with previous Uniswap versions. It was like building your own curve and a lot of things that you had to do by hand. And if you didn't like some detail of Uniswap, you did have to make your own code base, resulting in also more audits, more mistakes, and everything that we know. So it's also interesting. By the way, on Friday we will be having a Uniswap, next Friday, a Uniswap before workshop starting a hackathon. So that will be also fun. The agents will pair with OBI, that is the navy token of the projects. They will be in the front end routed through another contract so that people can trade with anything. So you put ETH, USDC, or whatever, and you can still buy it directly in one transaction on the site. But it's interesting to see how the tokenomics works integrating the token. And also something that maybe Flange has integrated as is customization of some tokenomics. They are customizing the fee distribution that the creator and the community, it's like burning tokens, but they say it's community. They can choose how to distribute those tokens. In this case, that will be there, and there are a couple of more variables that people can choose from while launching a token. And besides this, that is more user-oriented, the front end, the UI, the chatbot, all these functions, we are open sourcing everything that we are building, also in a kind of a modular plugin-based approach, where we will be having like on-chain interaction in Huawei, also like EVM and Solana too, so that agents can have a wallet, make interactions, choose a lot of things. A lot of off-chain behavior, integrating social media, Twitter, Telegram, like some cool stuff. And the interesting thing is that it's not only for us as developers, but it can be used for any other thing. For example, just one example, having Danny's agent, there is a clothes shop that I don't remember the name that is related to one of the projects that Danny is part of. And now if you go to the chatbot that helps you like in any shop, it's Danny that based on what you say, he recommends this t-shirt, these pants, and that stuff. So also these integrations of agents and also tokenizing agents in other places that we hadn't seen before is interesting. Okay, I think that's it. I tried to keep it rushing and make it short to respect the time that we had scheduled. So I think that that's it. Again, my name is...
If you want, you can take 1 or 2 questions. Like if anyone wants to ask a question.
Sure. Yes.
Thanks. I have a question about the Launchpad. You say it's for token, but it's for NFT too. And a second question, how I can use it and integrate it with experience for the client. Me as a developer for an enterprise that wants offer a client experience with NFTs.
Okay, so at first we are integrating firstly tokens ERC20s, not NFTs directly, but it's something that we are considering. It's not a top priority, but it's something that we would like to offer. Also, we are considering minting NFTs to the people that buy early, so that it can be considered on-chain for future stuff, but not directly launching NFTs. And the other thing, the SDK will be kind of an NPM package that anybody can import and use. It's not live yet, but it's something that from the backend anybody can use. Also to deploy agents, to use it, like all the on-chain and off-chain stuff. And launching the token or not. Thanks for the question.
Sorry. Any other question? Someone? Nope.
And we have...
Hi, hello. Where do you think the product market fit for Orbofi is?
Good question. I'm the engineer, I'm not the marketing guy. Well, I think that we do have like the same market that other launchpads already have. So that's kind of the retail thing that we aim to reach, all the already meme coin Web3 users. And also maybe compete in some particular stuff that our engine is really powerful for the chatbot. But that's not really something that we can get revenue from, at least for now. Like, this has been not that much live in time. For example, Danny's agent is kind of the premium plan. Before talking about tokenization, there was like this premium subscription that lets you talk to certain agents. So this thing that we were talking about personalities and that stuff, I think that if you're like kind of a really, really good personality online and you have fans, they would be willing to pay to have a good agent and talk directly. And the other part is like enterprise and experiences and that stuff. It's not 100% clear, and I'm not the correct person to answer it, but I think that it's kind of a mix of those things. Thanks for the question. Sweet.
¿Ya está abierta o está cerrado? No el código, pero para ir a la pantalla. Like, can I go to the webpage right now and create my own agent, or is it curated right now?
You can create your own agent, not launch the token. So you can create an agent, set personality, talk to it, and the only thing that is not public yet is tokenization and the integrations with other platforms. But the chatbot, website generation, and that stuff is already live.
We can take one more question if someone wants to ask.
I have a question. It is possible to export these agents for a third party or another type of project?
Sorry, what do you mean by export?
I mean like exported out from Orbofi, but still being able to interact with other services.
Okay, so the first answer is you can implement it anywhere using the SDK. At the same time, everything will be open source, so most of things you can just clone the repositories and run them locally or on another place. I'm not also the AI guy, so I don't know the details, but I do think that there are like some things specifically in our servers regarding training and some stuff that gives performance that I'm not sure if replicating it in another place will have the same results.
Cool. Thank you very much, Nico.
Well, thank you, everybody.